Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the 1313 podcast, the most mediocre podcast in the Star Wars universe. I'm Jacob.
And I'm Jackson.
Welcome back to all you rags and to all you shinies. Welcome to the podcast. This is the podcast. Please, before we begin, make sure that you leave a like, leave a comment, let us know how your day is going. Join the Discord and follow us on all of our social media linked down below. Jackson, how's your day going today?
It is going quite well, but as you and I both know right now, Jacob, there's a lot of Star Wars news that is already happening. So we figured we needed to come back and shoot a podcast episode just to talk about it. But how was your day, Jacob?
It was fine. We had about 15 inches of snowfall. It was minus 2 degrees Fahrenheit during the day. Work closed early, so I got to leave at 5 instead of 7. So that's a dub. That's a dub. So yeah, today was fine.
Oh, that's good. That's good. But I was actually going to say, Jacob, we should probably talk about what happened today before what we're going to actually talk about in the video first.
Yeah, so as of today, it was announced on StarWars.com, and it's been buzzed about it all week. Kathleen Kennedy is officially stepping down from the president of Lucasfilm at the end of this week. Taking her place is Dave Filoni and one other person. I cannot remember her name off the top of my head, though.
That's okay. I'll try to pull it up really quick if I can here. But continue.
The gist is that they'll be doing, they'll be co-presidenting Lucasfilm. Dave Filoni being on the creative side and this lady being more on the business side, to my knowledge. And that will be going into effect at the end of this week.
Yeah, I tried to pull it up on yakface.com. But yeah, so I guess, I don't know. I mean, I really don't know what to say on this as well, just because I feel like for a lot of people that maybe might not know, when George was stepping down, he was part of those people selecting Kathleen Kennedy to take over Star Wars because she had worked with him on other projects. And so for some people, I kind of feel like they get this misconstrued idea that she cracked open the earth and emerged from the gates of hell to take over Star Wars and ruin it, if that's honestly your perspective on the material or not. But I mean, I feel like having Dave is going to be a good change for things because, I mean, the community loves Dave. Dave can do no wrong. Dave does no wrong. So I'm happy. I'm fine with that. And I'm excited to see kind of what might change now that we're going to have this like double header for leadership for Star Wars.
Yeah, so it'll be Dave Filoni and it'll be Lin-Wen Brennan. I believe she maybe one time did a guest directing for The Mandalorian. Don't quote me on that. I cannot remember off the top of my head. But they will be the new heads of Lucasfilm, and we can expect to see hopefully better decisions made towards the creative media going forward.
But yeah, super excited.
That's
this
exciting.
Is a whole new thing.
Yeah, that's the breaking news of it. I don't know if that's going to lead to more projects that's under the gauze of what Bob Iger and Disney wants to do and the funding that's going towards their projects in general, rather than it just being their say. But we could expect to see different types of projects greenlit than what we have been seeing, and different sort of producer influences on these projects than we were getting with Kathleen Kennedy. And I don't want to sit here and I don't want to bash Kathleen Kennedy and say that she was the problem with Star Wars, but I do know that so she was one of George Lucas's main producers throughout the prequels, I believe, starting with Return of the Jedi. I can't remember because the woman who was one of the main producers on Star Wars was George Lucas's wife, and they end up getting divorced. Yes. And that's why the special editions were made, so he could cut her out of the royalties, but that's a different story. But I knew that she was there for some of the early projects, and I know that she was there for Indiana Jones. And I know director of Indiana Jones, Steven Spielberg, had a lot of beef with her. There was a leaked phone call with him talking about her, saying that she was just dumb. And she was trying to pitch ideas despite the fact that she wasn't supposed to be pitching ideas in the room, being like, what if instead of Indiana Jones getting a girl, Indiana Jones gets a dog? And things like that. So, I mean, we're getting her out of the picture. So hopefully that means that any sort of influence that she was having on these films and projects, for better or for worse, is gone, and we just get Prime Dave. So
Mm-hmm.
that's on that. That's open to your interpretation. Let us know down below and in our Discord your thoughts on this change. Whether you think this is going to be great or bad, or whatever your opinion is, just let us know down below.
Yeah, because I mean, definitely for sure, we can say, oh, this is going to completely change Star Wars. Dave is going to fix everything. But what's really going to stand the test of time is what actually changes for the Star Wars IP by the end of this week. You know, are there going to be, like Jacob said, all new shows, all new movies, all new, like this, that, and the other thing? What's going to be fixed? So we shall wait and be patient as a community for Dave to step into this role.
Mm-hmm. So with that, that's pretty much all we have on that. But we also have some other big Star Wars news, which is going to be the main purpose of this video, is Disneyland Galaxy's Edge is getting an absolutely massive theme overhaul away from the sequels into the original trilogy, bringing in characters like Darth Vader, Luke Skywalker, Han Solo, and Princess Leia to the park. And also changing up lots of the themings and decorations, music, and things like that around the park to fit the original trilogy. So that's been the big thing. So,
and we are stoked for that too.
Yes.
And just a side note as well, while Jacob and I are talking about these topics, everything that we are talking about has been 100% confirmed by stars.com. Devin Kogan is the writer for the article on this, and we are pulling exactly what she is saying. And in some circumstances, I even quoted her in the outline of the video that we are shooting today too, just so we can be as accurate as possible on this news.
Mm-hmm. So, and we also have some speculation, nothing that's been confirmed.
Yes.
But so I guess let's start with there's one thing I do want to talk about first.
Okay.
That we didn't. I think we talked about it in our "Is Galaxy's Edge Worth It" video, the video essay. If you haven't seen it yet, go watch
the video. I'll put it in the description.
Yeah.
We did a whole video on Galaxy's Edge because, like my tag says right now, we are mouse worshippers. We love Galaxy's Edge.
Mm-hmm. So, but there's one thing that's really big about Galaxy's Edge that not a lot of people know, and it's the distinguishing between Batuu East and Batuu West. East meaning the Batuu in Disney World, and Batuu West being the one in Disneyland, California. The one in Disney World is considered canon. Everything that happens in that is like the canon idea of what Galaxy's Edge is, follows the plot to the canon Black Spire Outpost book, and loosely follows all the canon made throughout the comics and the book series made around Black Spire, in between the Last Jedi and the Rise of Skywalker. Disneyland's Batuu is not canon. That's why you see that they get things like the projection show on the spires that they were doing last summer. You get the visits with Anakin and Padme that have been happening.
And Rex.
And Rex and all the different characters that have been showing up there. It's because that is not considered a canon space where the other one is. So the biggest question I'm wondering now is, because now that there is a distinct difference between them, where Batuu East is going to stay the sequels and Batuu West is changing to original trilogy, is that going to morph Batuu West into its own canon now? So they're going to kind of lose some of the creative freedoms and liberties that they had being the non-canon park? Or is that one going to have like a rotating theme? This is just the first wave of it. So that's just a little bit of preface going into this. I don't believe anything at Disney World in Orlando is going to change. I believe this is only going to be changed to Disneyland in California.
Yeah, I 100% think that is absolutely factual, that Disney World will stay the same. Disneyland is going to get this change first. And then maybe if it's really, really, really good, they might think about it. But like what Jacob was saying, so this new version of Batuu that we are supposed to be seeing because again, we're dealing with original trilogy cast of characters. So in the article, it described that this new version of Batu that we're going to be able to experience is going to take place between the events of, well, to quote it actually, it says it will span the events of Return of the Jedi and The Mandalorian. So they can still have an excuse to have Din Djarin and the rest of the cast in there, but like Jacob mentioned earlier, Luke, Han, Leia, Vader, and Stormtroopers, and Chewbacca, of course, will all be present in this space.
Mm-hmm. And I believe we've got insight on Luke will be wearing his Return of the Jedi black robes. And
Yes.
we've got a first idea that Princess Leia will be wearing her adventure look, which is what we see in Battlefront 2 with the vest, and we see it in the comics. So we'll get it, and this is the first time that we're seeing it like IRL. It hasn't been in anything live action, so this is the first time we're seeing this outfit for Leia, pulled from the comics.
Yeah, something that will not actually be going away. So for those of you who have been to Galaxy's Edge already, is you know that in the space that they kind of have deemed as like a first order ish area, you have Kylo Ren's TIE Echelon there. Now they confirmed that the TIE Echelon will not be moving and will indeed stay in the same place. And their justification for it too is this is a pre-sequel ship to begin with. So it was manufactured and used by the Empire. So they almost, let me find the actual quote because it was kind of funny. Okay,
they said,
so
we don't want to build something new.
Basically, so they said it carries the same color and markings as all the ties from that era. Since Galaxy's Edge debuted, the craft belonged to Kylo Ren, making it sort of a vintage car. So canonically, it aligns with the new updated timeline that we are celebrating now.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of funny to think about it like it's a vintage car.
Mm-hmm. You also got to think that the biggest reason why they're not going to change it is so when you're backstage behind Batu, it's literally the back of that tie, and then there's like a mound of dirt, and then it's like nothing behind it. So there's literally no space for them to put in anything else. It's that facade of that ship and then a drop off. So there's not enough space there for them to. And also, I'm pretty sure it's like permanently bracketed to that platform. So I don't think there was any way that they could get that out of there.
Yeah, for money's sake, the mouse wins on this front.
Mm-hmm. But they will be changing directly next to this ship. It was the First Order Depot, and now it's going to be like I think they're calling it like not the Imperial Surplus, but they're calling it the something surplus. Where it's
we already have an Imperial Surplus, and who makes suits for the 501st?
Yeah. But it's going to be all original trilogy era stuff there now.
Yeah. So, Jacob, are you looking at the Google Doc right now?
No.
Okay. So I had a notation in here because this is in the article. Now, stop me while I'm saying this and tell me if this was already true for the canon of Batu to begin with. But in the article, they said that this Empire and then this rebel-based store that are going to be run on Batu are run by clone troopers, and that one decided to continue on with the Empire in his service, and the other one decided to side with the rebellion, but they're still friends, so they view this as like local competition on their goods. Because I think that's something new canonically they're working into this.
I think that would be new canon due to the fact that because clones age rapidly, by the time we reach the sequels, they're probably all dead.
Except Kix.
I don't know. I've never heard anything about that in anything. So I believe that's because the idea of the First Order spot with it being a surplus because they have armor on display there and they have propaganda is that's like their recruitment, like to join the First Order area. So I believe that's going to be new canon then.
Okay, yeah, because that was in the article saying that that's the idea for this, like in the idea and the justification canonically for a rebel in an Empire-based shop in this area too, which again is cool. And that would be really cool if we ended up seeing like shopkeepers wearing like partial clone armor. Not that that's probably going to happen, but that's just me nerding out.
It's not gonna happen.
Yeah, no, not gonna
It
happen. Yeah.
could. Well, no, it can't. The way that Disney operates, especially with its costuming, is things like my parking outfit. There's when you for Hollywood Studios at least, because that's all I can speak on. And I don't know if I'm supposed to be saying this or not, but I don't speak for the company and I don't work there anymore. Um, when you go in through the cast entrance, the first building that you're greeted to has the kind of storage for all costumes for cast members, being like photo pass and parking and quick service and like Tower of Terror, things like that. But when you get into the and most of the Bot 2 uniforms are there. But when you get into the costuming pieces, like the Stormtrooper armor, like the Mandalorian armor, there's a completely separate building that is like security locked with a code, so no cast member other than cast members who are character actors. Only they can get into it. Also, side note: if you are ever walking around the parks and you see a guy or girl about my age, and they're just dragging a black suitcase, like a black wheeled suitcase, it's Stormtrooper armor in there, or it's Kylo Ren, or something like that. That's how they if they can't transport it backstage, because especially if you're going from Bot 2, it's quite a ways. Most of the time you'll see them walking through the park with their rolly bags, and that's what that is. Because they take off their clothes, so they don't have name tags or any sort of marking.
Take the suit.
No. We'll have Orange County up your ass faster than you can say Miska Muska Mickey Mouse. Now, dude. But no, I did that. I don't know if we'll see clone armor in there, but it'd be cool.
Yeah, no, that would be neat. But besides those two shops getting a change, they describe that the entire storefront of Bot 2 will be changing. Every shop will have brand new furnished items. The clothing is going to be different for people. And it's going to be, again, complete rework here, everybody. So that's going to be cool.
Mm-hmm. So right now we have like the Critter Corral, where you can get like your loaf cats and your Nexus. You have the toy shop, which sells like toys that are meant to look like they're in universe. So they sell like lots of those plush dolls, chance cubes, things like that. The there is an outfit section, but they sold like Grief Karga's robes and Padme's cloak and Jedi robes. So I don't know if they'll just get like a refresh the selection of that, or if they'll completely change what that shop is. And then there's like a Bot 2 like trinkets, like with hats and like Black Spire merchandise. It's like welcome to Black Spire. So we'll see.
Yeah. And then another kind of key detail too, just because again, I've only been to Bot 2 twice, technically, really, and Jacob could go many, many times. So for those of you who haven't gone, bear with me as I try to describe this picture for you. So when you walk into so when you walk into Bot 2, you got to go through like basically like a whole tunnel thing, and then you end up and it's almost like a forest, and that's where they have Rise of the Resistance, because they got like a forest, they got like X-wings and other things too. And then as you go further, you get into like the city of Bot 2. Now, Jacob's got his saber or your coaxium sipper. I can't see.
This is my coaxium sipper.
Oh yeah, so check things that you can find at Galaxy's Edge.
Handle with care. This was a May 4th thing. It's a container of coaxium.
But so when you're going in, you basically see Rise of the Resistance, and then you go into the rest of Galaxy's Edge. Now, the way that the article talks about this is that when you go into Galaxy's Edge, right where they have Rise of the Resistance, that small section is going to stay the sequel trilogy, and then the rest of Bot 2 will kind of go into the original trilogy. Because they said, because right now they have Ahsoka and Rey and Chewbacca and BB-8, all his characters in Bot 2. And it said they wouldn't be going away, but rather they would move closer to where Rise of the Resistance is and just stay there. So then the two canons don't like fight each other. in like morph in that sort of way. So as you're walking, you can still experience like the sequel trilogy of Rise of the Resistance, because although there was some speculation this week that that ride would change to be something original trilogy themed because it said it was
Yeah.
closing indefinitely, we
So
know that
that
that is not
wasn't
the case.
any that was just me thinking.
Oh well, other people
Because
probably thought it too.
earlier this year that they announced that Rise of Resistance would be closing indefinitely for for maintenance. Usually they
Yeah.
give you a timeline of a couple like months, but they didn't have anything, and then they announced this re-release, this retheme. So I thought that they would be going in and reskinning the ride to be original trilogy,
Mhm.
which really wouldn't be that hard. It's you change what 3 animatronics and think some things on screens.
And
You
then
could still
change the
get away with.
uniforms. Yeah.
Oh, and then you gotta change the ray transmission. You gotta change BB-8. So I don't know.
Nah. But yeah, so that's all going to stay sequel trilogy. So if you still want to experience those aspects of the park, you can. So I think that's fine. I loved Rise of the Resistance as a ride. It was goated. It was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And then, because this is all coming in April, right?
I
I'm
believe it
referencing the
starts in
article.
April. I saw Darth Vader would be there in April, but I don't know when the rest of the retheming is going to happen. If it's all all going to happen at the same time or what.
Okay, yeah, it says beginning April 29th, 2026. So we don't know if beginning means everything or if beginning means here's Vader and we're working on it.
Yeah.
But this is also kind of a good strategy because this is coming right into April. So then going into May, that's when we get the Mando movie coming out. And Smuggler's Run is also getting their updated. This is something that they said a while back too. Smuggler's Run will be getting a Mando sequence as part of the ride feature as well.
Mm-hmm.
So now
So
not
it's
only are
not
you bringing people back for the ride, but for the park itself.
Mm-hmm. And it's not just a Mando sequence. Smuggler's Run entirely is getting an overhaul. So they're going
Okay,
from
that's what I thought.
it was running in Unreal Engine 4. Now I think it's upgrading to Unreal Engine 5. So the graphics are going to be better. It's going to run smoother, all that fun stuff. It's also going to start out with something with the Mandalorian, and then halfway through it, you will get the option, whoever's the engineer, because before they just sat there and they just press buttons to fix the ship.
Yeah.
Now they will get the option to take you on the next jump of your adventure. I believe that's Coruscant, Tatooine, and one other planet I can't remember off the top of my head. They get to select the next part of your thing. You jump there, and then you do something else. So that's going to it's a complete new overhaul. So now there's a bunch of different things that you can do with it. So that'll be really cool. I'm really excited for that.
Oh yeah, I'm so incredibly excited. I feel like I just need to go. But okay, I was just checking the outline. I think that's and then Jacob mentioned at the beginning too with the rest of the changes, they will be playing original John Williams music in the park now too.
Which I don't know how I feel about it.
Really?
Because one thing that's cool about Batu is there isn't really music. You walk in through, at least in Disney World, when you enter the park, if you're not going around through the Toy Story Land, it's called the Hyperspace Tunnel. Once you enter that, you kind of get some music that was made by John Williams. You get a little bit of music that welcomes you into the park, and then once you get into it, it's just ambiance. Like maybe some of the shows, like when Kylo Ren comes out of his ship, there will be like some music. And maybe like some of the vendors will have like a little like ditties playing every now and then, but it's mostly just ambiance of being on the planet, which helps immerse you into the feeling of actually being on this planet. So I don't know if walking around and hearing I don't know if that's going to take me out or not. So,
but what if it's the same concept though? Like because they were specifically saying like Leia's theme, the Force theme, and like blah blah blah. They just save this for like when the characters do their things.
Maybe that would be fine.
Because I feel like everyone's going to get tired of Star Wars music on loop.
Yeah, I don't want them to be pumping that like 24/7.
Yeah, yeah. So other than that, that was everything that we have for the changes listed that they gave us in the article, at least. Now, when Jacob and I were discussing this yesterday, because we were like, oh my gosh, this is insane. Uh, Part of the thing is that Batu exists because they created books and they have the games and they have other pieces now to cement it into canon. So then our question was, how the heck is this fitting into canon? When does Luke and all these other people go to Batu? Now, Jacob can probably talk on the few appearances in a second, but the article did state that Marvel Comics is working on a set series right now to show how we get this interaction in Batu with these characters. So it makes sense.
So we understand that Darth Vader's been there with Thrawn
Yes.
from the Alliance book. And we know that Han Solo's been there from the Black Spire comics that came out when Batu first opened. That happened before the sequel era. What did you just...
I just dropped something. Continue.
Okay. But we know them for sure have been on Batu before. So they don't really need an introduction. I hope they can bring Thrawn in. Despite the fact that it's after Return of the Jedi, so they probably won't be able to. But I digress. So we know that them two are at least canon in their spots for now. We know Leia kind of like hovers about the planet and knows about the planet in the Galaxy's Edge novel, since she's the one that sends Vi Marati on her mission there. But other than that, Luke and Leia don't have an appearance on the planet yet in any sort of media. Han and Leia get close with the Princess and the Scoundrel novel, with them taking their honeymoon on the Halcyon Star Cruiser, the Star Cruiser hotel that doesn't exist anymore. So it's the Chandrillan. Yeah, R.I.P. But yeah, so Marvel Comics is just gonna write us a little ditty, let us know why they're there. And,
Jacob, are you saying gonna write us a ditty?
Yeah, like a little doodah.
Say something else besides ditty, bro. Not in this.
They're gonna write us. They're gonna write us a
Sean
Diddy Combs. They're gonna write us a little Sean Diddy Combs. Is that what you want me to say, Jackson?
No.
That's what I thought.
Okay. But now that we've covered everything that is absolutely coming, now we're going to give you our thoughts on it. Jacob, do you want to talk first on what you think about this fantastic change to Galaxy's Edge after you're done flexing your crazy expensive water bottle from Disney?
Oh, my friend got me this. I didn't buy it. Shout out to Nate, my Pookie. He got me this shirt too. These were the May 4th releases this year. But like the park exclusive ones, dub. He couldn't find me any of the Clone Trooper buckets, unfortunately. So for those that don't know, there's a great video essay about it on YouTube already. You can go check it out. I can't remember the creator. I can't remember the name. I apologize. You got to find it for yourself. But when Galaxy's Edge was originally being constructed for Disney World, the original plan was to take out the Indiana Jones Stunt Spectacular, have it run all the way from Echo Lake past Star Tours and all the way back into where it is now, and have it all be Tatooine themed. They were going to rebuild Mos Eisley's Cantina one for one, and they were going to have it all be around the original trilogy. That was the original plan. It was going to be something more like when you see Vader and Stormtroopers and the Rebels on it, it'd be like the battle that we get in Battlefront, where they're in Mos Espa and there's the Rebels and the Stormtroopers are on the planet. So that was the original plan. And then Kathleen Kennedy came in and said, no, we are going to do something new based on the new movies that we're doing right now. And this is right after the Last Jedi is getting done with its production. Because she was like, The Force Awakens did fantastic. It did numbers. So why don't we make it a continuous story of what we're currently doing? And then all the Imagineers said, okay. So they scrapped that idea, and then it turned into the Batu that we have today. So going back to the original trilogy and bringing that back into this park more is in line of what Imagineers had in the first place when it comes to what experience was supposed to be. And I think it's going to bring more people to the park because it's kind of what they wanted from the start.
Yeah, I would agree, because that was the consensus that we had reached in our Galaxy's Edge a video essay. Again, plugging the video, was that although Star Wars is made for kids, it makes sense that Disney's driver of revenue are children. So have children come in to see Rey and to see Kylo because they'll know it. But then you completely alienate the rest of the Star Wars fandom that, again, in the sequel movies are very contentious. You know, we like them here on the podcast, so we'll just say that at least. But so we like the current theme of Batu. And I don't think there's anything wrong with changing it to be a different theme either. I think that this will drive people back into Batu because, for the most part, people were not going in the droves that Bob Iger originally predicted when it was opening. So this could be a good first step to re-engage Star Wars. And I feel like to make it relevant still at Disney, because again, everybody goes to Hollywood studios, you know, for the Toy Story Land and for this, that, and the other thing. And for people that are hardcore fans like us, you're gonna go. Or maybe you just pass through and then you scratch your head and you go, I don't remember this planet from the movies. Because when I was actually Googling information for the video and then pulling up the article as well, one of the top search results is what movie is Batu in Star Wars? Because people seriously do not know. So although it won't be a planet that is connected back to what most fans know, it will be characters. And I feel like that's fine. And then I feel like it makes it more enticing if there's two different versions of Galaxy's Edge that you can visit, because then there's a purpose to see both. Granted, the California location for Disney is the one that they're going to give the most things to over Disney World. It's the original park. So what are you going to do? But still, I think having the two different ones would be a cool idea, because there's plenty of things there at Disneyland that aren't at Disney World, like the Cars World.
So I will. Well, we are getting a Cars World at Disney World.
When?
In 2 years, I believe. They just built. So it's going to be in Magic Kingdom, where Tom Sawyer's Island used to be, in between Tiana's Bayou and Haunted Mansion. That whole thing of water was filled in, and they're turning it into a Cars area. They're turning it into not Radiant Springs, because that's California, but they're turning it into a Cars themed area. But besides the point, I do wonder though, is one, excuse me, is this going to be permanent? Because are they doing this for a little bit? Are they doing this for a little bit, or are they going to do a constant changing theme? Because to be honest, what do they change? A couple banners, a shop title, and just wardrobe. What's to say that they don't rotate every year? This year will be the original trilogy. Next year we'll do the prequels, because we know Anakin and Thrawn and Padme have all been on Batu from the Alliance novel. What's to say that Anakin doesn't go there again? Why can't we have Ahsoka or Clone Troopers? What's to stop them from doing a rotating theme and going back to the sequels for a year? And then you could schedule your trip to go to which park based on what theme they're running that year. So I think that would be something to keep it fresh and always new. So for people that go every year, you get to experience something slightly different every time you're there.
Here's something that was just coming off the dome too. What if canonically this is how they make it work? And spoilers for the Thrawn Alliance novel, it's been out for so long, you had time to read it. So in the Thrawn Alliance's novel, the big reason Anakin and Thrawn, well, the big thing that they end up foiling is that there's a droid factory there. And the droid factory is doing this.
It's not on Batu.
No. Nope, you're right.
They go to a different planet.
I'm trying to find, never mind. So okay. But let's say even just after the adventure that Thrawn and Anakin had, the Republic realizes they need to station clone troopers on Batu or have some sort of Republic presence. So then when the Republic falls and the Empire takes over. That's why the Empire's already there. Then the Empire falls, they crumble, people go back to normal for the most part, and then the First Order just swoops in to pick up the ashes.
Maybe it can work. It's very apparent in the in Thrawn alliances that the Batu is completely out of the way and is not. People are very much like, we don't want to be in your war, and it never really gets involved. Same thing for the time of the Empire. They don't really seem to have any sort of presence until now, I guess, with the retheming. So I guess we'll see. Yeah, I don't know.
But yeah, I mean, that was just a thought of how they could work that aspect of into canon just off of the cranium. But I'm excited for this. We haven't been to the Disneyland version of Galaxy's Edge, only the Disney World. And I really wanted to wait to go for Celebration 27, but this might just make me want to go sooner.
See, the only issue with me waiting till 27 is that's when the Indiana Jones ride is supposed to open at Animal Kingdom, and I will be scheduling a trip to go there, and I will be there on the day it opens in my full Indiana Jones cosplay to go on the ride and buy all the trinkets because I love that guy. So, and going on Encanto, I guess. No, we'll definitely see. This is definitely making me want to go sooner, and especially with me still having a bunch of friends that all still work for Disney who can get us into those resorts for cheaper and into the parks for free. It's very tantalizing to just hit somebody up and be like, yo, I'll pay for your flight. Let's go to California. Get a discount. Let's book a room and let's go to Galaxy's Edge. So we'll see. We'll see. Definitely want to make my way there eventually.
But yeah, it is exciting. I mean, Disneyland has kind of just been the pioneer of doing the different things. Like when Jacob mentioned the character appearances at the beginning, and then the projection light show and the holiday stuff, and it's kind of like, ooh, what else could you do next? So this is something I am hyped for.
Yeah, the only sort of event that Batu East gets is the May 4th celebration. There's just more people there, and usually there's fan organized events.
Yes.
But this year for Christmas, they had something for Life Day, but it was upsettingly, it was locked behind the paywall of Jollywood Nights, which is the Christmas party at Hollywood Studios that you have to pay way extra just to get into to stay into the park for like an extra 3-4 hours. But they had Chewbacca in his robes with his ball. And that was the only sort of special thing that they did for Christmas for Life Day. I mean, they'll have Life Day merch every year. I got my Life Day hoodie.
I have a Life Day hoodie.
It goes hard. I wear it under my my Steelers jersey, so it's always Life Day. Except for when they lose 6-30 in the wild card round of the playoffs. I love being a Steelers fan.
But on that note, but did you have any other thoughts or things that you wanted to share about the change for Galaxy's Edge, Jacob?
No, not really. I'm excited for it to happen. I'm excited to see what comes out of it, the new merch that starts to pop up in the parks, and whether or not they're lying to us about reskinning Rise of the Resistance. Because let's be honest, it would be easy as hell to do. You just change a couple of animatronics, and that's all you do. Yeah. Granted, those animatronics, I know the giant Avatar one in Disney World is like $34 million. So I don't know if they want to spend that kind of money to revamp a park that's so new, but we'll see. If they do it, it's gonna be a surprise. They're not gonna just kind of release it now. It'll be like a May 4th thing where they are like, surprise.
Yeah, I could totally see it being like that.
So, but that's all I got. Is that all you got?
Yeah, I mean, that's all I got too. I mean, I was just happy just to chat about it because we were freaking about it. Well, freaking out about it the other day. We're like, we should record a classic podcast episode just for this.
And we had a decent amount of stuff to talk about. Two big news drops this week. So, but
And we
so
like
with
Galaxy's
that,
Edge.
yeah, I got my Black Spire jersey on. It says Black Spire Outpost on the back.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I love this thing. But thanks guys for watching. Thanks for checking this out. If you liked it, leave a like, leave a comment. Let us know down below what you think about this. Are you excited? Are you upset because you live in the California area and you just really enjoyed the sequel theming? Let us know down below. And if you want to chat with us further about it and give your 2 cents and maybe a couple more cents, hop in the Discord, chat with everybody in there about it. I'm sure we're going to be discussing it for quite a bit. But thank you guys so much for watching this episode. Thank you, travelers. Till the spires. We'll see you next time. Peace.
Laters, Gators.
Latest Gators. Oh no, I gotta end the stream and it's all the way over here. Oh no, I gotta end the stream and it's all the way